One really interesting aspect of the new Trump administration we haven't talked about is his presidential order declassifying secret government files. So we may learn more, for instance, about the assassination of JFK Kennedy and what information the US government holds on UFO sightings. Let's talk first about Kennedy. Professor David H. Dunn is Professor of International Politics at the University of Birmingham. Professor, thanks very much indeed for coming on the show. So there have been many, many theories about who was really responsible for the Kennedy assassination, and it appears the US government does hold classified files about this. What might we find out, do you think? We're speculating, of course.
We're speculating. The speculation is that some of these are duplicates of the 5 million documents that are held in the National Archive, but more likely what these are likely to reveal are the last few secrets that the CIA insisted were kept back. And unfortunately, it's not going to be any great revelations. What they most likely relate to is the names of individuals who were involved in keeping tracks of Lee Harvey Oswald, or the techniques that the CIA used to actually track Lee Harvey Oswald's movements in Mexico. And the few weeks before the assassination, Oswald visited the Cuban embassy and the Soviet embassy in Mexico City, and the techniques used for doing so, for keeping tabs on him, are regarded as a national security asset, and that's why they've been kept back all this time. So it's not going to reveal anything that we didn't know, but of any importance. But it's a thing that's been held secret for those reasons.
And so we've got we're not going to hear more about whether the CIA were working with Cuban exiles and the mafia, all those wilder conspiracy theories. Nobody's going to be encouraged to go for those.
I think had there been in the files evidence of those sort of conspiracies to prove those conspiracies, they would have come out long before now. What these are footnotes to do with national security rather than anything revelation. I mean, there is a broader point that actually opening up all the archives so long after the events is good for transparency, but it's not going to offer us anything that we didn't know. The conspiracy theories will continue, I think, as long as there are people alive who actually want to speculate about these things, because it is such a juicy story in the sense that actually there were many people who might have wanted Kennedy dead. We can rehearse those if you like. I mean, the mob supported Kennedy's election in 1960. Kennedy's father got them on board and actually helped them to get their voters out, particularly in places like Chicago. And of course, as soon as he came into power, instead of giving them a bye, he appointed his brother Bobby to be the Attorney General, who went after the mob. So they felt betrayed, and they felt that actually that he had gone back on his word. So there's speculation that actually they were involved. Of course, there's also speculation that the military-industrial complex were after Kennedy because he was likely to pull the troops out of Vietnam and to actually not continue the war or expand the war there. So that's another theory. Another theory is that Lyndon Baines Johnson himself wanted to be president, and that was a way of getting Kennedy out the way in order to do those things.
You see, this is the trouble. The theories are so interesting and so enjoyable. People will always continue to be interested in them, whatever the actual facts show. But Professor, thank you very much indeed for joining me tonight. Because another subject for declassification is UFO sightings. Wonder what we'll learn about that. Let's talk now to a former Ministry of Defence official, Nick Pope, who ran the MOD's division, which investigated UFO sightings during the 1990s. And Nick, first of all, I didn't know there was such a division. I'm amazed.
We've now declassified nearly 60,000 pages of documents from that UFO research project, many of which I wrote. So it's all at the National Archives.
And do we learn anything? Do we learn that there was anyone out there?
No smoking gun, sadly. But of course, the allegation is that there is a smoking gun in the United States. And that, of course, is what this new House Oversight Task Force on the Declassification of Federal Secrets is trying to get to the bottom of. Because the central
allegation... We're talking about Area 51 and all of that.
Roswell, Area 51, yes. The allegation for years has been, and it's quite binary because it's either true or not, that the US government or elements in the US intelligence community have crashed spaceships and dead aliens. Well, if that exists hidden away in Area 51 or whatever, this new task force is supposed to get to the bottom of that.
Do you believe they will get to the bottom of it? In other words, do you believe that there will be sort of jaw-dropping revelations to come on UFOs? I think you're in Arizona yourself, are you?
I'm in, yes, Tucson, Arizona, so not far from Area 51 up in Nevada. But I don't know is the short answer to that. I mean, some whistleblowers have testified to Congress recently that these sorts of things are true. And, that's under oath. And this new task force is supposed to be bipartisan. So that's a good thing. And of course, some things that we were told were conspiracy theories, like lab leak in relation to COVID. Now we find that the US intelligence community thinks that, or parts of it, like CIA, think lab leak is actually more likely than natural zoonotic emergence. So our thinking can change on this. So I'm keeping an open mind. I hope it's true.
Oh, we all hope it's true. It'll be the story of all stories. Can I ask, are you in Arizona in case the call comes and you can pop up and say hello?
I'm not, but if the call does come, I will go.
All right, Nick Pope, thank you very much indeed for talking to LBC tonight. What a story. Keep our toes and fingers crossed for that.